podcast. My name is Addy and I am the yarn dyer and creator behind Ruby and Rose's Yarn, and in this video today I'm going to be doing my very first voiceover vlog. I'm so excited to start. I think it's just going to be such a chill and just really fun hangout session with you all because I'm going to be talking a little bit about all 14 colorways that I launched in my latest collection. So it features one of the colorways here as well as so many more. And I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about admin before I get into the nitty-gritty. So the first thing I want to share with you all is that this is a pre-order, so all of the colorways have yet to be dyed, but I am going to be keeping it open for a total of 2 weeks, so you'll have plenty of time to gather those shopping lists and pick out what projects you want to start. So it's going to be open for two weeks on all of my bases. So no matter what quantity, no matter what base, it's going to be available. However, after that time, some colorways might be discontinued. Bases will be very limited. So I would strongly recommend you purchasing them now to be able to get what you want. And then the other fun thing is that I'm going to be offering you all a 15% off discount for all of these colorways. I'm so excited to be able to give this little gift to you, just to thank you so much for the support you've shown me in previous years, as well as the warm reception this collection has received. So in order to unlock that coupon code, be sure you subscribe to my newsletter, which will be linked down below if you have yet to sign up. So be sure to sign up and you will get to unlock that code to start shopping. But if you've already subscribed to my newsletter and you've been just supporting me in that way for so long, then please stay tuned for Tuesday, which will be when the email will go out and you can receive your code on Tuesday. So yeah, after that, that's pretty much it. I can't wait to start showing you all the colorways, and yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Grab a cup of your favorite drink and grab your knitting or a nice cozy knitted blanket, and yeah, let's get started. So of course I had to start by sharing the very first colorway that made its debut, which is Stationary. This cream base has been overdyed in the most delicate way to resemble the yellowed edges of those well-loved pages. The splashes of blush pink and sage green have my heart so much because they set off the honey golden pour over. And Writer's Block, which is the one that I'm holding now, is a colorway that's both gray and brown in equal measures. I truly believe this is the ultimate neutral because it's going to be well suited for any project. I mean, how could you not love this blank slate of a colorway? Next up is Montblanc, and as you can see, this is such a rich, saturated colorway. It would be beautiful in an elaborate cabled sweater or maybe just a cozy pair of socks. I think either way, it's not going to disappoint. It is layers upon layers of plum and eggplant and mulberry, and can you spot that light speckling of black in certain parts of the skein that, in my opinion, really tie in that dash of burnt orange? All in all, this colorway is a complete mood. I think it's so fun, but wait till you see its tonal pairing, which is Inkblot. This one is so rich and saturated as well, and it's the darkest gray tonal I've ever created. It's just the ultimate charcoal gray with a few undertones of deep pewter, and the depth of saturation is, in my mind, retrospective of a swirling jar of ink from decades past. And yeah, I really love this combo. I think they would be fun, especially if you used a skein of Montblanc on fingering weight and then Inkblot on mohair. I think that would be really stunning as well. So many possibilities with all of these color combos. You can just make it fit into whatever pattern you have on your mind. I'm really trying to get a good, accurate, color-wise shot of this photo, but this is the best representation of this colorway right here, but always check the listings. Now, Tattered Pages is completely my all-time favorite from the collection. It's something I have to knit a project in ASAP because it's well known that pinks are my favorite palette to work with, and I just think there's something so cozy and stylish about them, but you'll have to let me know what you think. And this colorway is a perfect combination of romantic blush, a little bit of sandy brown, and a dusting of silver, not to mention the watercolor application of each one that steals the show. Every once in a while, you might get that hidden speckling of rosy salmon. I've really loved experimenting with the watercolor look during this collection, and yeah, it's been super fun. Love note is its corresponding tonal, and I think there's something so alluring about this colorway, or maybe it's just me. I think it gives off chic fashion vibes due to the romantic mauve and rosewood layers. This colorway, the one that I was previously holding that's right next to that rose cloud base, which is my Surrey, is a brand new fragrant rose base. So that one right there is my new cashmere base, which will be linked down below if you want to check it out, because this colorway is pure heaven. It's incredibly plump, buttery to the touch, and to say it's luxurious is such an understatement. So like I said, that will be linked down below if you want to read about it. John Hancock is that green you never knew you needed in your life. I'm obsessed with the softness and depth of these greens, and I'm sure it's going to be a joy to work with. Personally, I see a sweater knit out of this colorway in my future, and I just might use my brand new cashmere base. The primary base of seafoam in this colorway sets the stage for a jade green pour over and a few nuggets of fog. Flashes of chartreuse will flow off your needles or hook, which are sometimes hidden unless you unwind your skein. For instance, can you imagine how beautiful the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit would look in this colorway? It features really subtle cables, and I will have it linked down below in case you're interested to check out the Ravelry link as well. I think this is just a match made in heaven, and I'd love to hear what sweater you would knit with this one. The tonal pairing for this colorway is Parchment, and it's a perfect mint. The spearmint is toned down with a slight undertone of dusty taupe to really pair well with this variegated colorway. I think either one would look beautiful in that sweater pattern that I recommended. Now, who's ready to see the real star of the show? A hazy dark navy with a smoky blue palette that you can't help but fall in love with. The touches of cerulean blue is really what gets me. The capture of light and shadows show off its mysterious nature. I think this colorway pays homage to the history of letter writing, and it's just so classic and sleek. But now the question is what to make with this colorway. I think that it would be so fun in a hat. I'm actually planning to knit a hat for my fiance in this colorway on my worsted weight base, which is what I'm currently holding up now. And in case you're curious to see what each colorway looks like on all of my bases, be sure to search for the photo on each listing that photographs all 10 of my bases. Descriptionari is this subtle but interesting colorway that is the perfect pairing to letter writer. The washed out nature of this blue makes it seem almost neutral. I think it would be a very versatile addition to your wardrobe and would be perfect for those fall days leading up to winter. And it might even be perfect for winter as well, since it looks like winter wonderland-ish. And I know that season seems distant, but it can't come soon enough for me. And here's what it looks like again with letter writer. The worsted weight base on this one just turned out so perfectly. Potpourri is this beautiful burnt sienna, and what would an autumn collection be without a rusty colorway, am I right? I think it evokes the coziest feels the season has to offer. It showcases crisp black speckles on top of a splash of magenta, but nothing can beat the silvery gray that ties it all together. And this colorway on Surrey is just incredible. I love the watercolor effect this base encompasses, and I think maybe even holding a skein of Potpourri on my rose cloud base along with tattered pages on fragrant rose would be out of this world. Someone has to get on that combo so I don't end up knitting it by myself. Wax Seal is such a rich, vibrant colorway, and if I had to choose two words to describe it, it would be underglow. I think it's safe to say this is my favorite tonal from the collection because the richness and saturation is on a whole new level of depth, and it's just my all-time favorite red, purple, pink. A really fun thing about this colorway is that I decided to blend a really crimson red dye along with a neon purple and then more of like a mauve pink to create this colorway. So all of those layers really show up in this colorway, especially when you purchase it in person. But yeah, this neon cranberry pairs so beautifully with Potpourri. And yeah, can you imagine all of the cozy hats you could knit along with a strand of Surrey and fingering weight? Both of these colorways in a project would just be so fun and very colorful. Yours truly is such a deep mauve that is very cozy in my opinion. For obvious reasons, I had to save this combo for last. I really love how this mauve created the perfect palette for such a fun array of speckles. One of the only multicolor skeins in this collection, and it's very speckled as well as slightly variegated too, so you just get the best of both worlds. I really love how the navy brings out the speckles of teal and forest green and just how it pairs together so beautifully. You also get to see a sneak peek of the swatch, but stay tuned for the end of this video where you will get to see all of them. Typewriter is this misty gray that has some very heavy layers of periwinkle and moss green that make this colorway pretty layered for a tonal. And be sure to check out my Instagram post that features this colorway if you want to see the inspiration photo, because let me just say it has me wanting to purchase an antique typewriter so bad. It's crazy doing this collection and looking back at the time when so much effort was put into letter writing. We are wrapping up all of the colorways with a machine that brought about the end of an era. Now we're on the cusp of electronic letter writing. From paper and pen to typewriter tape, like everything else, it kept evolving. But on another note, who's ready to see the entire tonal sampler for all of the collection? I think the set perfectly encompasses the romantic vibes this collection offers as a whole. Whether you're drawn into the pastels or captivated by the moody neutrals, this set checks all the boxes. Not only that, but all of these samples show off the tonals so well, and I will share the swatches a little bit better later on in the video, but just seeing them all grouped together is so fun. Even if you don't have a project that comes to mind for this sampler, just keep in mind that minis make great stash acquisitions. I have so many in my stash, and I think one day it'll be fun to maybe make a scrappy blanket with all of them or put them into a sweater. You just never know with mini skeins. And plus they're just so cute and tiny, I think. I know that a really popular use for them right now is scrappy socks. There are so many fun sock patterns out there and just mini skein patterns in general. I feel like if you were to search Ravelry and just type in mini skeins and add in the option to have several colors, I think you would just get an array of patterns that would work beautifully with these mini sets that just allow you to sample the entire collection as a whole. If you're wondering what they're going to look like knit up, I'm going to briefly show the samples again a little bit more up close. So we have some that are knit, some that are crocheted samples in Tunisian crochet, as well as just really big blocks of each one of them. I loved seeing the swatches, and we'll share them a little bit better later on, but if you're curious, like I said, for what your mini set is going to turn out like, this would be a great way to tell just by looking at all of those swatches. And I just felt there was something so satisfying about lining them up in a little row. But I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like something is missing without their tonal counterparts. Now it's finally time to show you all each and every sock set. I had so much fun photographing these because I was able to incorporate the swatches in the photo shoot, which will hopefully give you a better idea of what each colorway is going to look like. Whether you're knitting a pair of socks or crocheting a pair, I really wanted to make it as inclusive as possible for no matter what project you have on your list. I also really loved incorporating this rose paper that is handmade on each listing, and it was really fun. I only threw it in a few of the listings because I did a poll on Instagram, and a few of you really wanted me to just do the classic white and cream backdrop without the rose paper because it might have been a bit too busy. So this photo shoot right here is what the rest you can expect to look like. It was a lot of fun shooting both, but I do agree that the white, just that really pretty cream, shows off the colors best. And this sock set is one of my favorites besides Tattered pages. I love Wax Seal, and I just think it's so fun. One of the things I love most about this autumn and fall season that we're approaching is the fact that it's a whole new time of planning projects. I love to anticipate what I might want to cast on in the future, and just I feel like your whole mood for knitting and crocheting changes. So have you decided what you'll be working on this autumn? Maybe one of these sock sets will be the perfect opportunity for you to cast on and crochet and knit a pair of cozy socks this fall. Even though I've never personally knit a pair of socks, I know it's some of you all's go-to things when it comes to this time of the year. Now, I know that an important part of planning your next sock project is what base to use. So all of my sock sets for this collection are going to be available on 2 bases. My soft rose base, which is an 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 4-ply, as well as my plump rose base, which has the same content except for the fact that it's a 2-ply with slightly less yardage due to its plumpness factor. You can read all about that, like I said, if you go to my yarn base info tab, which will be linked down below. And yeah, those are the 2 bases I will be offering with this collection. Now it's finally time to get to the part that I've been most excited to announce. I feel like this is the biggest news all season because I am going to be hosting an autumnal make-along. It's been forever since I've hosted one, and I think it's long overdue. So how to enter will be very straightforward, but first a little backstory. I've always loved the idea of letter writing, and in a world where things seem to be going faster and faster, I love the contemplative nature of letter writing in general. A few years ago, I had a pen pal that was quite elderly, and we would write letters to each other on a pretty regular basis. Not until she passed did I realize what those letters truly meant to her, and in retrospect, what they meant to me. There's actually a movie that I would recommend watching. It's called The Letter Writer, and I couldn't recommend it more. Like, how perfect would it be to knit on your collection colorway, as well as tuning into this lovely movie? But anyways, back to talking about the knit along. Each order will be receiving one of the note cards I'm about to show along with your skeins. To enter, you must knit or crochet with the Letter Writer collection colorways, then snap a picture of your work and send off this card to someone who needs a little extra joy in their life. I will be hosting the knit along on Instagram and possibly Ravelry if that's something you all would be interested in. I will be drawing prizes at the end of this quarter, and be sure to use the hashtag on your post showcasing your project, hashtag Letter Writer Make Along, to participate. But yeah, I thought that knit along would be something super fun to partake in during the winter/fall months that are approaching. But in the meantime, enjoy this photo of all of the swatches. They were so fun to see in person, and I must confess that I loved these colorways in skein form, but after seeing the swatches, I'm seriously in love, you all. All of you should have convinced me to bring swatches to each collection a long time ago, because it's something I want to do for future collections for sure. There's just, once again, I just think there's something so magical about seeing all of the knit and crochet samples all lined up. Just love how they play together. So that's a wrap. I hope you loved seeing all of the colorways up close and personal and got to plan your future projects. I just wanted to have a final reminder to be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. So I will have that linked down below the sign up. And if you want to unlock your 15% off code, and if you've already subscribed to the newsletter, thank you so much. I will be sending that email out on Tuesday, like I said. And in the meantime, have so much fun with your knitting, and until next time, bye.